So you have a business idea or even a new offer, so a new thing to offer in your business. Maybe it's coaching or consulting, maybe it's a book idea or a digital course or a template or a workbook. Some kind of knowledge-based offer, right? If you're an academic like me, you know that you can use the knowledge already inside of your brain to create a wildly profitable business. But there's one thing that's stopping you. You're not sure if it's a good idea. So how do you know if your business idea or your offer idea is something that will make you money and something that you enjoy doing and something that the audience actually will want to buy from you? So there's a difference between creating something super helpful and creating something super helpful that people are willing to pay money for. So how do you figure out what that thing is? And my answer, you probably won't like it, but maybe you'll find it encouraging. I'm Dr. Toyin Alli. I have a PhD in math, and I also run a six-figure business called the Academic Society, and I'm a business consultant for academics to help them build and operate a semester-proof business, kind of like the one that I have. So if you're watching this video, you're probably at this place. You have a business idea or offer idea, and so what do? You ideate, you think about it, you make an outline, you start creating content, you start refining your ideas, and then you think on it a little more, and then you kind of avoid it, and then you refine it some more, and you think on it, and you strategize, and you plan it out, and you map it out, but you never put it out into the world. Why? Why would you not put your awesome idea out into the world? Well, the two things that academics often struggle with: imposter syndrome and perfectionism, right? As academics, we like to show off a polished version of ourselves to the world, but you know the academic process is not polished. It's not pretty. You fail most of the time, and then eventually you create something that's publishable or something that's shareable. It's the same in business. You actually just have to get your idea out there imperfectly, so that you can get the feedback, so that you can iterate and refine and actually find something that's profitable. So here's a fact that I think will help you move on and push your idea out into the world. Your first version of your idea, so the thing you put out first, is going to be the worst it ever is. So think about teaching a class for the first time. Those poor students, that is probably the worst you have ever taught that class before in your life. However, the next time you teach the class, you remember how the students responded to different things the last time you taught it. And each time you teach the same class, it gets better and better, or at least you get new ideas to help yourself get better at teaching the course and to help your students learn from you, right? It just takes time. And it's the same with your business idea. You have to actually put your offer out into the world and see how people respond to it. Actually get people to go through your process and consume whatever you create for them, so they can give you feedback, so that you can refine it, so that you can iterate and make an even better version of it. One that you'll be so proud to share with the world, and one that will make money. But you can't start making the money unless you actually get started. So let me back this up with examples from my own business. So I'm gonna share 3 examples where I put something out that was imperfect and then got feedback and it turned into something profitable. All right, number 1. So my first business is the Academic Society. I grew it to 6 figures, and after that, other academics were coming to me and asking me, how did you do this? I want to do the same. How are you finding time to do this? What kind of business do you have? Like, all the questions. And so I really thought about it, and I was like, okay, well, I can become a consultant. I can share the knowledge that I've learned over 5 years in business with other academics who want to do the same. So I created an offer called Simplify with Systems, where I help academics build out their whole business structure. So I create a business handbook for their specific business. I help them narrow down exactly who they work with, come up with offers that are fun and fulfilling for them to create, because we don't want to create like a second job that's super draining. We want to create something that's fun and exciting and something that you're willing to do on your spare time the minimal amount of spare time that you have. And then I create systems and workflows for the academic to follow, as well as a weekly schedule of business tasks for them to do so that they know exactly what they need to do week to week, and that schedule takes less than 5 hours per week. All right, so this was the offer, this was the idea that I had, but I'd never done this before. And I was like, I hope that people want this. I hope that it goes well. So one option that I could have done was just think on it and refine it and just like conceptualize what it will be, but then I would have never put it out. So the first thing I did was I offered it for free. Well, actually I offered it for a trade. I have a friend who also has a business and she's a former academic, and we kind of just swapped services. So I let her run through my Simplify with Systems service, and I created this business dashboard for her with her brand colors. It was beautiful, and I gave her all of the things that she needed to do to run her business on 5 hours per week. And for her, she's great at copywriting, so she helped me write one of my landing pages. So I did this offer for free, and she said, Toyin, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. All academics who want to run a business need this. And I was like, okay, great, that's exactly what I needed to hear. So I felt confident about it. And so I was like, okay, well, let me put this out to the world and charge money for it. So I charged $1,500, and so the way it looked was it was one big work day. So I would meet with the academic for up to 5 hours. Sometimes it takes less, to learn about them, their style, what kind of skills they want to use in their business, build out their offers, build out their sales funnel, create all of the systems and get an idea for everything. And then I would work for 2 weeks to build everything out. So I built their whole business out for them and created their schedule and put it in a beautiful branded dashboard, as well as like almost like a business Bible, which is like a huge Google Doc with all of the systems and processes in their business. So I got a client and I worked with her for $1,500 on that service. And after the service, she had a few extra questions. So I did a couple strategy calls with her to help her go through the process and go through all of my guidelines for her. She just wanted kind of like a little bit more accountability. And I said, okay, well, the offer sounds great, but they need a little bit more. So my next iteration was continuing on, having that big work day. I work for 2 weeks to build out their business for them, give them their dashboard, and then we have 3 follow-up strategy calls just so they know how to implement the steps that I created for them. And that was wonderful. So I charged $2,500. So it's gone from $0 to $1,500 to $2,500. And then I had a client who worked with me at $2,500, and she said, oh, could we like continue working together? I would love to just be able to bounce ideas off of you like every couple of weeks, because these strategy sessions are super helpful. They get me super motivated and give me ideas of what to do next. And I was like, yeah, you know, my favorite thing is actually working inside of people's businesses regularly. So I updated my offer once again. So this time I updated it to be the big 5-hour workday. Then I worked for 2 weeks, build out their business, brand it for them, and instead of just 3 strategy calls, we meet for 3 months, bi-weekly, so that I can work with them in their business as a retainer. So this new offer is $5,000. Now, I've gone from 0 to $1,500 to $2,500 to $5,000. And what has happened during that process? I got better at talking about what I offer. I got better at giving out the deliverables. My customer service and the customer experience just like went out of the park. I knew exactly what things to ask my clients. I just made the process so much better, and so much better for my client. It became something they actually needed. Now, I don't think that I would have created this offer on my own had I not done the previous steps and just put the imperfect, smaller offer out there first for $1,500, well, actually free first and then $1,500. So I actually grew my business, I increased my income, and I helped my audience more, and through an offer that people actually want, right? And I just don't think I would have created that if I didn't just put something out there first. All right, here is example number 2. So in my business consultancy, I wanted to share how I made my business semester proof and how I make sales on autopilot. So for example, I would just be in the middle of teaching and I would get a notification on my phone that someone purchased an offer of mine. So I created digital courses for graduate students, and students would be purchasing just whenever without me having to make the actual sale like manually with my voice, creating a video, things like that. I was able to do it automatically. And I was like, oh, I need to teach academics how to do this. So I created a 2-hour workshop called Sales on Autopilot. I charged $97 and about 6 academics went through it. And they thought it was great. The information was valuable. They were like, I wish we had more time to implement what you're teaching during this workshop. I was like, oh, great, I can do that. Let me expand it. So the second iteration for Sales on Autopilot, it became a 3-day workshop with homework. So after each day, there were action steps for people to work through, and then we will come back, discuss their action steps, and get into the next part of the workshop. So I expanded it to 3 days and increased the price to $197. All right, and then I realized, you know what? Sales on Autopilot is actually a bit inaccessible to my audience. My audience of academics don't quite relate or resonate with the words sales on autopilot. And in fact, I got this information from building a quiz inside of my business about academic entrepreneurs' personalities. And I found that over 50% of my audience had the opposite personality of mine. So I was teaching and naming things in a way that would resonate with me, someone who's very data driven, very straightforward, but most of my audience are people. They're people persons. They're very empathetic. They're very like not as numbers oriented as I was. So the words sales on autopilot really didn't resonate with them. So I changed the title to the semester proof business course, and I made it a more like comprehensive course that goes from idea to testing the offer and then putting it on autopilot. And guess what? Like a few days later, someone purchased it, right? So the name actually mattered. And so once I created the bigger semester proof business course, the price is now $297. So it went from $97 as a 2-hour thing, $197 as a 3-day thing, and $297 as a full-blown course, right? And I don't know if I ever would have come up with the semester proof business course if I didn't create the $97 2-hour workshop. And finally, my last example, this is my McNair example. This is what I call my aligned offer. So I'm a McNair scholar, and if you're unfamiliar, this is an undergraduate program where the goal is to help underrepresented or first generation undergraduate students learn about grad school, with the final goal being them getting a terminal degree like a PhD and perhaps even work in academia. I was a McNair scholar and I got my PhD and I work in academia, so I have fulfilled the goal of the Ronald E. McNair Scholars Program. Wonderful. Now, I never imagined that my business could be connected to the McNair program. So here's where I started 5 years ago. I started creating videos on YouTube about graduate school and helping students prepare for grad school, help them navigate time management in grad school, learn what to expect in grad school, and eventually I created very low price offers like a $10 ebook, a $97 accountability program, a $197 grad school prep course, right? Pretty low ticket offers because my audience is grad students. Well, in 2020, a few McNair directors saw my videos that I created for free, asked me about my programs, and asked, could you create something like that for our McNair scholars? And I created a 6-week program for McNair scholars, and it is a $5,000 program. So the McNair program pays $5,000 and all of their students are able to join. And so what's wonderful is the McNair scholars get to connect with the other McNair scholars across the country, which is amazing. And in that first year, 10 programs joined. And that was the most money I had ever made in my business. And that happened in 2020. I would have never in my wildest dreams thought of creating a McNair program and selling it to McNair programs. What? And that opportunity only came to me because I started. I put something out there. I created those YouTube videos for free. So the lesson here is action creates clarity. So if you're unsure if your business idea is going to be profitable, put it out there. See if it is. And then when you hear feedback, iterate, refine, and put it back out there in its new form. Right? This is an academic process. This is something that you can do. The scariest part is putting it out there. So I've created a process that's super easy, super low tech, super low barrier to entry to create that very first offer and just put it out into the world. So I talk about how to do this. It's a 3-step process and you can do it in less than 30 days inside of my semester proof business course. So I'll put a link below this video if you want to check it out. So to reiterate, how do you know if your business idea is profitable? You got to take action. You have to put it out there and ask people to buy it. If they buy it, then it's a profitable idea. And if no one is interested, then it's not, right? Then you just adjust and try something new. But you can't try something new if you never try the first thing. So I know it's super scary. You can do it. And if you would like someone to hold your hand through it, definitely check out my semester proof business course, or we could work together one-on-one. All right, so I hope this video was encouraging and helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Also, if you've been sitting on your idea, let me know. How long have you had this idea without putting it out to the world? No judgment here. I'm just gonna give you a little encouragement to actually go for it. All right, have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.